Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Ashes and Roses, where we keep it real, raw, and revolutionary. You already know, don't be shy, join the tribe, like, comment, and subscribe. It's season 3, and we're talking all about our sabbatical year. And on this episode, we're talking about business and friendship.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm Juny.
And I'm Ashley. And we are going to do things a little different today. We're not even going to do it thought of the day.
Yeah, we're going
to jump right in.
We're just going to talk.
So today's episode is about our friendship and business and how it's been on the journey so far.
Yes. Yes.
Any initial thoughts?
The first thought is, where do we begin?
I know. I mean,
well, I'll say a realization that I was having this morning, I guess is kind of ends up being a thought of the day, but I was thinking about the episodes that we had to record and stuff, and this was one of them. And then I realized, like, we actually learned how to work together before we became friends.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because I think the first thing we did was the basketball tournament.
Okay.
For the church.
Uh-huh.
And we were still in, it was like the summer before college.
Yeah, we really weren't friends yet.
We weren't friends. We also did a banquet. And we weren't like, we were living together, but at the time we just saw ourselves as like roommates.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting that we started working together before we became friends.
That actually makes me wonder, like, whoa, what if we never? So does that mean the foundation of our friendship is just on our work? Because, like, if so, I'm kind of like mind blown.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that was me this morning.
So we only know how to work together. That's pretty much what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Because we've never.
So we've never just been friends.
No.
Never?
No
way. There had to be gaps.
I mean, we've just been friends. Yeah, there have been gaps where we're not working on a project, but we turn everything into a project.
Whoa. What? So, I mean, do you feel like that's divine nature? Like, that's great? Like, it's a good thing we came together to create, like, because we came together, we create.
Yeah, we create.
We create businesses. We create, ideas and events and
realities. No, just kidding.
No, but dang, that's
I definitely
hitting me hard right now.
We make things happen.
Yeah.
I haven't thought deeply about it because, like I told you, it was just this morning, like getting ready to come and record. Yeah. And it was only because I had to think about these episodes.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah,
I'm a little shocked.
Like, good shocked or bad shocked?
I mean, I'm processing it, but I don't know how I feel about that.
Things that make you go,
I know. How do you feel about it?
I don't think I know either. I don't think I've reached a place that. So on one hand, it's like, okay, there's this idea that, and I'm not saying that I'm not calling this into existence, but on one hand, it's like looking at that, it's like, okay, so if in the future, right, we would come to a place where our friendship is no longer what it is, we'd still potentially maybe still be able to do business together. But I wonder if we're no longer doing business together or no longer doing projects together, if our friendship would sustain.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's crazy. I mean, I think it would, but the problem is it seems like as long as we're friends, we keep starting projects.
Yeah. I think a lot of our more conversations than we actually realize we end up talking about, like,
a project. Now I'm wondering if that happens with me. Like, if it's me, like, what if I'm that common to know? Because I'm now thinking about the relationships that I have that are close to me, and it's like, we're typically working on something.
Really?
Sometimes. Yeah. We're usually, I feel like I feel like not to the extent as you and like you and I, but like I think about my friends like that I keep close by, like that I would reach out to. So like friends in nursing school, the ones I still reach out to are the ones that we were productively studying together. We got through school together. We had to study to get to the test, right? So that's who I held on to. I'm trying to think. Some of my relationships, I'm usually involved in something that requires some kind of project, whether it's like even just giving ideas or providing solutions or joining them on their journey. I don't know. Now I'm just wondering. Now I have to process that.
No, I mean, you saying that is now making me think.
Is it me?
Like, are you asking? What do you?
Am I the one that's always bringing up the projects? 'Cause I probably am.
Yeah, I think so. Because now I'm just looking at my other relationships. There's no other relationship that's like project driven or based. Like I do projects like with my mom and stuff like that, but outside of that, and I think too, like maybe let's define what we mean by project. I don't know. I think
you're the one that said we could usually turn stuff into projects. So it's not just even our business, but like say we weren't entrepreneurs, we probably would be throwing
we'd be doing the most.
Like
Yeah. Like even an event becomes a project. Anything. Yeah.
I mean, this podcast.
Yeah. Well, this podcast, I had to convince you, remember?
Yes.
Yeah, I had to. Well, it is a project.
I mean, it's a project.
It's a project. It's a project. No, I was saying, yeah. Wow, look at that. This is a live
just realization. Wow, that's interesting. Straight off the bat for me, when it comes to when I'm thinking like friendship and business between you and I, the first thing that comes to mind is that we're good at it. And I think it works out too, because it's like, it's almost like I never make friends at work. Weirdest thing. I mean, I make friends, but not like friends. You know how like you go out to drinks with friends and you know, but like it's not usually like everyday friends at work. Does that make sense?
It's like once in a while.
It's not typical. Like it's not typical of me. Like I can probably count on one hand how many friends like I've made at work.
Same. I think I have like one friend.
And I care about their friendship and I'll reach out to them and stuff like that. But for the most part, we're not like talking every day. I'm not keeping up every day, stuff like that. Or weekly or anything like that. I guess I don't really talk to anyone every day because of that phone, that previous conversation we had about the phone. I don't really care to talk on the phone every single day. But but like constantly keeping up with, no, it's never been somebody from work. So it's interesting because it's like, now that we have the same job, it's like you're just my friend at work.
Yeah.
And it makes it easier because then it's like we talk about work, we talk about life at the same time. It is hard to balance the two. A lot of times it is like too much talking about work. And I think that is so draining, Yeah, it is draining. And I think like the lines are so blurred of like, because it could be literally like it could be anywhere doing anything, and somehow some way we end up talking about work. So yeah, and I think too sometimes it happens when like there are other people around us and they're just like, okay, well, I know
they're talking about work.
Yeah.
So I mean this,
but I feel like doesn't that happens with regular, not just an entrepreneur thing, because I found that like when I did go out with my coworkers and stuff like that's what we do when we talking about work.
But they are coworkers.
I know we're coworkers though. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm saying like even out, if you guys work together, more than likely you're gonna bring up work, even outside of work.
Yeah.
Whether it's complaining about it or talking about, you know what I mean, something that happened, or you'll still bring it up around friends that you guys work with.
Yeah, I guess so. It's just been such a long time since I've like since I've like had people from work that I do things outside of work with.
Oh, okay. I thought you were about to be like, it's been such a long time since I've, been an employee.
No. That's not what I was gonna say.
The way you were like pausing, I was like, oh, it's been so long. You haven't been.
No, that's not.
You haven't been to work.
That's not what I was gonna say. Because I think the last time I made friends at work was maybe 2014.
Okay.
And one of them, she's still my friend to this day. Mm-hmm. And then since then, it's like I'll talk to people at work, but that's it.
Like, they're not like, let's go out. Yeah.
No. Yeah, okay. That's not.
So try to remember back in the day when you and this friend used to go out. Mm-hmm. Did you guys talk about work? Yeah.
So it was like it was like three of us who kind of, clicked, and we used to go to like happy hour and stuff. And mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, like we would be coming off work together. I was working 9 to 5. So we'd be coming off work together, talking about the day. You talk about, whatever is happening at work that maybe is stressing you out or whatever. And then we'd mingle real life in there. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like that's kind of us. I don't think it's unusual if two people work together that they bring it up work outside.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's unusual. I just think that, we don't typically think about, like, I've never thought about it in the lens of like being coworkers.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
That's pretty much what it is. We work at the same place.
Yeah, we work at the same point. So that's interesting because I mean, it's been like, 11 years now?
That we've been friends?
And coworkers. Friends and coworkers?
Well, we didn't actually we did work together.
Yeah, we did work together at an actual job.
That was so much fun. we were just being so competitive. I love that. I love that. But you were killing the game, that sales game. I'm saying
this soothing voice here on the phone. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey,
I did sell a lot of commission stuff.
That was funny. So we used to work at Harry and David, which is funny because it's like a seasonal job that we would probably get around this time that year
because people were buying like gift baskets and stuff. So she was selling, you were selling, and it was funny, the incentive to sell was for like they would give us fruit and money. They
gave us money. You would get a commission. But the commission wasn't really that big. So it was like, you get this fruit, but the nice thing about the fruit is that it was like visible. You could see who was doing well that day. And so, me and you, we would go at it.
Yeah.
I was just like, some days I just did not have the energy. Some days I was like trying to listen and be like, what is she telling them? What is she telling them to get them to upgrade to this basket?
No, you always make them feel like it's.
You should have done more sales. You really should have kept up with the sales.
With sales?
You definitely, I mean.
Yeah, I would just like mention like, oh, did you know? Da-da-da-da. And they'd be like, I mean, what do you think? Do you think I should? I'd be like, well, it's up to you. I know if it was me and, I received this in the mail, I'd definitely be blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? I just made them feel like it was their idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's genius.
I got a lot of oranges and pears.
But you see how I'm smart in picking my business partner though? Like... Peep that. I saw a skill set. I was like, oh, okay. You better than me in this. All right. Let's be on teams.
Let's be on the same team.
Let's be on teams.
Yeah. Let's yeah.
That's the strategy I went with.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were good. So dang, man. And then after that, we were like doing organizations, and then we had a chance. You know what it is? We haven't had to compete in a long time.
Yeah, we haven't competed in a long time.
We should do that. Well, now we play tennis, but that's not right now. It's not fair because I played longer, so it's gonna take you some time.
Yeah, and you're leaving. So.
I know that too. Yeah. But man, we should compete in something. Maybe we need to compete.
We used to compete a lot. Maybe that's something that's missing. Yeah, that's true. Because we used to compete. I mean, we were at competing.
We had like a debating.
Yeah, we were on a debate team.
So we would compete then.
And you know what I'm saying? My debate team. You know what I'm saying? They held it down. You know, we took home the debate championship. You know what I mean?
I love how my memory blocked that out. Like I refuse to remember.
Of course. But you know what I'm saying? We won.
I literally, it's black there. I don't even remember that.
I'm sure you don't.
But if I did win, I probably would have. I would have remembered. So you probably did win. You probably did win.
Yeah. So that was cool. What else did we compete in? I think
was there anything else?
Just
our church, low key. I don't know.
Yeah, our churches were competing.
Kind of competing. We took the win with that one. We took the trophy with that.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
I'm
interesting.
trying to think if there was anything else. Yeah, we stopped competing.
Mm-hmm. So what I wonder, like, if a therapist was sitting in the room right now, I wonder what they would be saying about all these revelations right now. What kind of questions they'd be asking us.
How do you feel about that? And how do you feel about that? Yeah. Maybe that. And honestly, sometimes that's exactly what you need to answer.
Like, how do
you feel?
How do you feel?
What is the emotion that you feel?
Are you asking me
about the revolution? Hey. I'm not a therapist though. Just want to clarify that.
Yeah.
But maybe if they were to ask a question, that might be what it would be.
How do I feel about what?
The revelations that you're having.
I feel how do you feel? How do you know what you're feeling in the moment? I guess I feel like wow. It's kind of like a wow. That's like, interesting.
That's not a feeling.
That's not a feeling?
No.
I
have a feelings chart if you need me to pull it up.
Yeah, go ahead, fill it up.
Go ahead. I mean, keep trying to think of what you feel.
I don't know. I guess well, that's also not a feeling. But I guess I'm just like, what does that mean?
Okay.
Like, I feel like I want to know what that means. Is that a feeling?
What, the fact that we like what means that we compete and that
we compete, that our friendship is started like based on projects. Like even moving in together was a project. It's like you had a goal,
right? We had a mission from the beginning.
Oh snap!
So curious.
Interest is a feeling.
Interest? Okay.
Yeah. So I said interest. I feel like, oh well, I guess in the way that you said it is not what I was saying. I don't know. What word did you say?
Curious,
I guess. Curious. I don't know. None of these words are really, like when you I'm just observing. I feel observant.
Okay.
What do you feel? How do you feel about that? What does that make you feel? Or how does that make you feel?
Like, this says acceptance. I accept it.
You accept it?
Yeah,
I
do. I mean, I don't think that if we don't have a project that we can't be friends. I don't think that. I think that we have too much history and stuff like that. But I think it would be hard we've already agreed. We've already come to an agreement that we need to stop doing projects. We're going to stop. We're going to stop here. At least for now, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see how that goes, Yeah. So, I don't know though.
But I wonder if it's something that we like, so just knowing that like, okay, we come together and we do projects, I wonder if it's something that we can actually stop doing. It's like, okay, it's like if you have a relationship, in that relationship you guys always do X, like if it's just kind of, that's just the relationship.
That's just how it felt. That's just how it came out to be. To me, I think it's a great thing because I genuinely believe like humans were here to create, and not just creating other humans, but creating period. You know what I mean? So whether that's art, whether that's, there's some people that they're friends because they make music together. There's, and they stay making music from the beginning to where they are now. I just feel like we're friends and we make money together. I don't see anything wrong with that now.
No, I'm not saying that I see anything wrong with it. I'm just kind of like just breaking it down.
That's just our natural, that's our default, is to be friends that make money together.
Right. Or
that's
start
what projects.
That's what we bring out of
each other.
One another, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. And it's crazy because when you bring it back all the way back to college and how our friendship started,
high school,
yeah, it's like it wasn't always about making money anyway.
No, it wasn't always about making money.
No, I know I said we make money together, but when initially that's what I was thinking, friends and business. But when you bring it all the way back there, it's like actually it was like any project, bro. Actually,
that tournament made money. It was a fundraiser.
Oh my gosh. And so was the banquet.
Yeah, it was a fundraiser. It didn't go into our pockets, but they made money.
And then we had that organization that
also made money.
Oh man. So we be making money together.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Hey, that's good. Okay. I feel like that's actually what it should be. Like, if you really think about it, like, I feel like families should be making money together. I feel like, I mean, it's complicated because when money gets mixed up into stuff, like, that's where the drama starts to come in. Because people are funny about their money. But if you really think about how the white people do it here, it's within their families. Like, they make money together. But we're not hip to that because we're not sitting in their household. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's us working with them on the outside, and you know what I mean? Like, just, and then you realize, oh wow, y'all be out here making money together as a unit, even if it's just actually no, they all be interested in the money that's happening, because I feel like the families are usually
like
aware.
Bob will call Bill and
But yeah, seriously. So yeah, I think families should be doing that more often. Friends should be doing that more often too.
Yeah, it just gets tricky because in terms of like people doing it together, I think, for example, right? Let's say if it was a friendship that wasn't ours, and they started off as friends, and not because they were good at something together, but just because, they were attracted to one another in that kind of way. Like, there's something in that person that attracted the other person, and now they're friends, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that they would be, because I do still think that there needs to be a level of like personality types.
Oh yeah.
There needs to be a level of like mindsets that are not necessarily the same, but complementary, not necessarily aligned, because they don't have to be similar. They just need to complement one another. Like, I was reading this book, and it talks about business partners. Like, it doesn't make sense for both to have the same strength. And it was talking about how I feel like we should start a book list for Ashes and Roses. But anyway, it was saying like the best business partnerships has a visionary and an implementer. Like, two visionaries aren't gonna work, two implementers aren't gonna work. It has to be complementary in the sense that your strengths is not going to be your partner's strengths, and that you get to play off one another, in order to kind of see things that the other person doesn't, and to actually create a situation where success is the result, or whatever they determine success to be. So with that being said, I feel like I think it's easy. I think ideally, we would love to be able to like just make bread with our loved ones, with our close ones, but just because they're our loved ones or just because they're our friends doesn't mean that our personality types complement one another. And it doesn't mean that we'll actually be able to generate something, you get what I'm saying, together.
I mean, it's tricky, don't get me wrong, it's tricky. It's definitely tricky when you involve money and work and stuff like that, but I agree with you. I agree with that. I think that because obviously I don't have businesses with all my friends, but like I think that I think friends is actually a pretty riskier than family. Like I feel like for some reason with family, even though the drama will be there, it's like the money is for the family. You know what I mean? It's like I mean, it's still, you may not, but there's always that. Yeah, there are a lot of family members.
I just feel like you have more to lose when it's family. Oh,
like if something like goes left, if something goes left,
you have more for me, I just feel like you have more to lose when it's family.
I guess I look at it like a real empire. Like when you think about even royalty, right? They just make money within their family. They keep it in the family, regardless of how irresponsible one of the kids may be or whatever. They still are like, well, this is who we're stuck with. This is
but they also do a good job. Like they'll keep it in the family, but they know what kid to give what responsibility to. Like they just allow the kids like to have the money. Like for example, like Dynasty, right? He had 2 kids. He knew not to put his son in charge of nothing because his son would just give everything away to charity. You know what I mean? He knew that his daughter was a little bit more business savvy, a little bit more cutthroat. So his son still reaps the benefit of being within the family, having the family name, being in the empire, but he knew who to entrust with the but
it was like thing. Instead of being like because he had his risks with his daughter too. He had his concerns with his daughter as well, right? But instead of being like, okay, let's go out, let's look outside of ourselves, he was like, I have to make a decision between the 2 of them. He just outweighed the
pros and cons.
So that's what I mean. I guess that's what I envision. I think that's kind of what I want for like my family, like the family that I create, like this money staying here. Like no one should have to go out and get a job. Like they could all work within the company somehow, I
feel that.
They're not about to be sitting doing nothing, but
I feel that. Interesting.
Business and friendship. The other thing that comes to mind is, dang, like what if we do fall out as friends? Then what? I mean, well, first off, like how does that impact the business? You know what I mean? And is it like a divorce?
I think if we fall out as friends, it will definitely change the way we do business.
Like, what would change? Our meeting days?
No.
Like what would change?
No, I think just in the way that we interact, the level of patience, the level of just kind of, you know what I'm saying, the level of compromise, the level of everything would maybe shift, would be a little different because it wouldn't have the background of friendship. I think the divorce part, I mean, I feel like losing friends is like losing any relationship is difficult. I've lost friends along the way of my life, but it's never been, the only entanglement that I've had with them has been friendship. Does that make sense? So I think it would maybe be challenging in terms of separating, because on paper you know the difference between the business and the friendship, but when it comes to the actual living in it, how hard would it be to separate the business from the friendship? You get what I'm saying?
Oh, like if we're not friends, like if we're like in the place, because even if we're not friends, that's, to me, it's still like the journey of the friendship, you know what I mean, whether it's like the beginning of the end or whatever, right? So dealing with that phase of the friendship within our business would be like, okay, now we really have to deal with it because of how we're interacting with each other.
Can you repeat that?
What part?
Like the last part you just said.
Because of how we're interacting with each other, because it will show like our issue, the interaction within our business will probably be shift, right? And so then we'll really have to deal with, because right now it's like merged. We can't really tell the difference. Whereas if we're in a meeting and we're like snapping at each other or something, then it's like, okay, we were being friends in a business meeting. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But like as of right now, like we are friends in business meetings. You get what I'm saying? Like, because that's just how we've gone along.
So we're friendly in the meetings as well. Yeah.
So I think of it would be compared to maybe co-parenting.
Okay.
So yeah, like, okay.
We've always talked about the business as like being a baby.
I mean, it is.
It really is. It's crazy. Well, actually, let me chill. I am not a parent, so let me chill out on that.
No, we're not parents, definitely, of humans.
Yeah, and things. I don't know that it's the same. Okay, after being there, I don't want to compare until I'm there. Okay?
Yeah, so. But I'm just talking in terms of two people who have come together, who have created an entity outside of themselves that lives outside of them, and now are separating and have to decide how to take care of this thing.
So metaphorically, not comparatively. Okay. All right. Thank you, parents. All right.
Metaphorically, we would have to figure out how to co-parent this business. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We would figure out how to co-parent this business. Like it's not going to be like, oh, who gets visitation, da, 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 da. It's not going to be like that, but it's going to be like, okay, how do we not mess up this? How do we still metaphoric child?
Yeah.
And still go our separate ways and live our own happy lives without feeling,
without our business having to suffer.
Which there's gonna be a period, right? Because I mean, when you're together and you have a child and you separate, it changes the dynamic of that child. It changes the stability of that child's life. So there's going to be a shift. There's going to be an adaptation. It just is like, is it going to be long term? Is it going to be something that
you're talking about it like it's going to happen.
No, I'm talking. No. This is all in the metaphoric.
Yeah.
Because you asked, would it be a divorce?
Yeah, like would it? Yeah.
Yeah, you asked, would it be a divorce? So
yeah,
I'm just answering that.
Wow. It would be different. It definitely would be different. Who knows? Maybe work wouldn't be as much fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
what would happen to this podcast?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know.
Yeah.
What would even happen? I mean, what are we even doing this podcast on? Are we doing on some entrepreneurship vibes? Are we doing it on a friendship vibes? Like, what are we on?
That's what I'm saying. Like, we don't, because it's so
what is this about? What is this?
It's podcast about entrepreneurship.
So that means that if our businesses are still running, then technically the podcast would
still have to run.
So then what, would you just be running the podcast as people who don't really mess with each other like that? Like, that's crazy. Because I'm thinking if our friendship ends, it's going to be like, boom.
It might be catastrophic. Depending. I mean,
for the listeners, I'm over here.
At least you'll be able to line up the audio real
right,
nice.
Exactly.
I forgot what I was saying.
No, what before I said it's gonna be something big. I said we're gonna be doing the podcast if we're like not even,
the tone would change. I don't know, but I think it would be a situation like, yo, if we're making X amount of money off this I think both of us would be at this point where it's like, okay, the friendship has ended. Does that mean our lifestyle, our income? You get what I mean? I think these would be things that we really...
It just depends, because you know what I was thinking when you were describing everything you were describing? I was thinking about what we just said about us being competitive. And I don't see that working out positively at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, because like I said, if it's going to be... I don't know. Like, if it's like, if one of us get petty, the other one, we just will level up.
Yeah, you're forced to be petty right back.
The thing is I know our energy. That's just how we are. Like, I'll level up, you level up, I level up. It's just going to keep leveling up.
Wow.
So,
it sounds like we need therapy.
You know, that's a good for business, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that I feel like I wonder if that exists. I mean, we low-key do have a therapist. I consider him to be our therapist. Tyrone.
Right.
He's my business therapist.
You might mess around and be like, you know what? Every time you say my name on the air, I'm going to need to run me that check.
Like, no, this is free advertisement.
Right.
Okay. But no, every time there's something wrong in our business, I'm like, let's call him. Mm-hmm. He has the answers. Yeah. But yeah, I think that as far as like mediation, I think mediation is something that would be not even legal mediation, but just like somebody to mediate if we're, you know?
Yeah.
Cause okay, so what would you tell the therapist? Like what would you say? What would you tell the therapist? If we were in a therapy session right now about our business and our business partnership, what would you say?
Like right now in this moment, not hypothetical or metaphorical.
The therapist is in the room right now.
Hey, therapist. No, I'm just kidding. I would be like, therapist, we just found out that we've been creative projects since we met. What does that mean?
Oh, okay. I mean, what does that? What do you mean? What does that mean? I don't think
that's just what I would tell the project. Ask. I mean, that's what I would tell what's her name? The therapist. Mm-hmm. Therapists don't have a name. It doesn't even have to be a her.
She would say that would mean that you guys are business partners. No?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I'll never show up to therapy knowing what to say.
Oh, okay. So you don't show up with a problem?
No, I don't.
You don't?
I do not.
So what brings you to therapy? Don't they usually start off with that question?
My therapist usually starts off like, how was your day? We do scales.
No. Your day. I mean, the first time, like your initial appointment.
Oh, yeah. Your initial appointment is like, okay, I've been feeling this way.
Okay.
And I don't know why.
Right? A problem. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's what I was saying.
So what is a problem in our business right now that I would show up to
that
a therapist
you would bring up? Yeah.
A problem. Do you have a problem off the top of your head?
A problem off the top of my head.
I would say, okay, sometimes our communication sometimes isn't the best.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that.
Elaborate.
I would be like, therapist, how can we be better communicators?
Okay. And when you say better communication, where are you coming from? Like, you're speaking for both of us.
I'm speaking for... You asked me what is the problem that I would bring to the therapist in terms of our business. I'm just saying this is something that I would say maybe.
The communication.
Yeah.
But you're saying like we have communication, but you're not saying like what is my. Yeah.
Are you turning this into a therapy session?
No, I'm not, because I'm going to answer it too. I'm actually curious, like, so why wait for a therapist? Why not try to communicate it, you know? Why not communicate now without the therapist?
There's nothing wrong with communicating now.
Yeah, that's you're
putting me on the spot.
I'm just curious. Here. I mean, say it. If you really don't want it on, I'll just edit it out. But
right, it is just the two of us in here, isn't it?
Just the two of us.
Let me see. I think sometimes it's not that we don't communicate. I think sometimes, like, for example, like, what is the different communication between, like, friendship communication and communicating as business partners. Does that make sense? So like, and speaking for myself, I'm not saying that I'm speaking for you. It'll be like, okay, well, do I need to communicate differently in both of those relationships? You know what I mean? I would say maybe like not knowing like, okay, when is this a friendship moment? When is this a business moment? As far as like talking about different things, like how, like mingling the two, like marrying the two.
So what is your issue with it exactly? Like, you want to know. So if you were to go to a therapist, you would ask them, how do I separate working communication and friendship communication?
How do I separate communicating through the lens of a working relationship or versus through the lens of a personal relationship? Does that make sense? Like, okay, like we had a situation where I came and communicated to you about something about business, but was I communicating through a business lens or through a friendship lens?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, when is the right time to do?
So if we're talking
either
about
or
that particular situation, it was like a mix of the two, because number one, it wasn't even a weekday, so that's not business, that's friendship. You know what I'm saying? So it was like a mix,
right? But even beginning, it's like we don't do good at keeping the boundaries of like, we're only talking about business during business hours. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when it comes to when we already don't have those boundaries, like going into it, you're not thinking like, oh, this is not the time to do that, because
to call a meeting.
Used to,
we never call a meeting when there's one thing when we're like talking.
Yeah, but
and business comes up. I mean, it was like, I came here to also meet with you about something.
I didn't say those words.
You said I
said I wanted to talk to you about something. That's not calling a meeting.
Okay, because I felt like it was like, we need to meet about this, like specific. Like, you didn't just come here to drop something off. You came here to talk about this specific thing. Yeah,
but I wasn't. That's what I'm saying. I wasn't looking at it like we're calling a meeting, because the thing that I was talking about, it wasn't on a meeting situation that it was communicated. You get what I'm saying? So it was like, hey, I want to talk about this, which is something that we do in the scope of like within our friendship. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Versus like, hey, we should have a meeting about this. You know, I wasn't looking at it as that.
Okay. I felt like it was, I don't know, I guess for me it felt like it was like, okay, a meeting. We're going to be meeting about work right now. Okay. You know? Yeah. Like,
so was it like, that's interesting you say that, because sometimes like we'll be talking about friends, we'll be talking as friends, and then like you'll have an idea or you'll have something that you were thinking about for work, and it comes into but it's like, so in those situations, it's just like, what is a meeting and what is not? Because then that could turn into a 30-minute conversation about this thing that has to do with work, but it's not a meeting.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say to the therapist?
I would say, I think that there's like a communication thing too, you know, that we could do better with communicating. I would feel like for me, what would I say to the therapist? I think I would talk about like feeling secure in the business partnership. You know what I mean? Like that part of it. I think I would bring that up. And being worried, like, because for me it is worrisome, like for our friendship to be tied in with my money. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's my money, that's my way of living. You know, I feel like I feel like I always work towards putting myself like in a position where like money is not something I have to work like I don't want to worry about it. And I don't want to be uncomfortable either. And so for our friendship to potentially threaten our business, that worries me, you know. But I'm a worrier. Oh my gosh, I didn't even see myself as being that, but I feel like the older I get, the more I worry, and it's the worst. I'm afraid about that. Like, I don't like that. I'm even worried. I'm worried about me worrying so much. Wow. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
It sucks because I think about it, and both my parents worry a lot too. So I'm like, am I just, and I don't even have a child on this earth yet.
Yeah. So imagine
worrying. I'm going to level up on the worrying.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I'm working on it now. Future children. I'm working on it now. I promise. I'm in therapy.
That's funny. So when you say, okay, so when you would tell the therapist that you're worried about our friendship affecting our business, like in what way do you mean that? Like,
go deeper in that question, because I'm not sure in what way do I mean that. Yeah,
like in what? So you worry that if something happens to our friendship, something will happen to our business?
Yes. Okay. I do worry about that.
Okay. Because you feel like it's tied.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Well, like I said, I told you about like the competitiveness. So like, to me, I feel like, you know, if we're both in our feelings and we're not letting go, you know what I mean? Like, I just know that we both have petty potential. You know what I mean? And it's like, and then we're Haitian on top of that. We're just we're women on top of that. Like, just alpha. You know, we're gonna move, you know, there's gonna be a point in time, because our friendship is deep. Like, our friendship is deep. So we're gonna be in our feelings. Just like people who like get married and then they're getting divorced and they don't think it's going to be an ugly divorce, and then it ends up being an ugly divorce because it's like the deeper you're intertwined, like the pettier people get. Yeah. And so to me, I'm like, yeah, I feel like do I think that we can co-parent? Definitely not initially, you know what I mean? And depending on what the situation is, probably talking too much about our friendship ending. We're probably talking about that too much. Right. But not even just our friendship ending, but what if there's just a hiccup? You know what I mean? Like, what if there's just a huge disagreement and we're just not cool with each other? Whatever. Like, then what? You know? But that's why contracts are in place. You know, at the same time, it's like, even when you have a contract, there's still ways to be petty.
Right. And at the same time, also, I wonder about, like, you know, will it be a situation? Because it's essentially like whatever it grows to, whatever our businesses grow to, at the core, at the foundation, was us. Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh, at the core, yeah.
At the foundation was us. So even like, I wonder if we'll start to look at that, because some people, you know, I'm not saying that this is good, but if we're still using the co-parenting metaphor. Some people, because they can't get along with the partner, they can't stand the child. Oh, you get what I'm saying? So I wonder that too. Like, what does that do? You know what I mean? Does that
to the feeling of even that business? Hey, listen, are that business making me money? I'm cherishing that business. Period. I'm cherishing it. I'm cherishing it because it's feeding me. It's feeding my future family. Like, so that's going to be important to me. And I feel like that's the crazy thing. Like, I feel like when family gets involved, that's when everything's going to be so
different,
sensitive, and you know, like, it's going to be fragile around that time. Because once you're talking about the food in my kid's mouth, we're on a different level. We're on a whole different level. Now we're on survival mode. We're on, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so for me, yeah, you know, that's a lot.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess for me, it's like, I was telling this person who I was trying to talk to me about just in terms of like how I see relationships and stuff like that, like as of lately. And he was saying something, I don't remember what he was saying, but I remember telling him, like, if it's going to be a situation where it's too much work to fight, I'd rather just let it go.
As far as
I was talking about in the sense of what he was talking about as far as like a relationship or whatever, like a relationship,
too much work to keep it.
Right now at this point in my life, I'm saying, like, I was telling him, like, if it's gonna do damage to me keeping it, I'd rather just like let it go. And he was like, so you're detached. I was like,
dang. So he therapized you.
He tried. But he was like, yeah, so you're not attached to anything. I was like, interesting. Because I feel like I don't know. And I'm not trying to call it into existence. But just today, right now, it's like, sometimes I feel like the battle wounds, or at least as of recently, I don't feel like I can take on battle wounds right now. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't know. And then I wonder what if therapists would be like, y'all both need help. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, everybody needs help, though. There's no shame in that.
Yeah, no, everybody needs help. But I don't think people realize how much it's like you don't get to, I think, like, entrepreneurship is one of the things that, like, there are certain jobs that you do that you can remove your emotion. Like, you can turn, you know how, like, in the past jobs have been like, leave your emotions at the door, leave your problems at the door.
Yeah.
I don't think you could do that with entrepreneurship.
Explain.
Yeah, you can focus and get a task done without, and just pushing things to the side. You can compartmentalize, but it's hard to build something that you don't put your all into. So meaning
from the ground up.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to put love and focus and dedication, and you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think it's hard to separate the two, unless you get, at least at this point, if I get to a point where it's like, okay, you have mass amount of money, and like, okay, like if you get to a point where you're a shark, yeah, you don't have to attach your emotions to what you do. I mean, it'd be nice, but you don't have to. But right now, there's just so much work that goes into it. If it's not something you care about, then it's not gonna go anywhere. You get what I mean? Like, we're not at the place where we get to not care. So, I cannot remember where I was going with this. Do you remember where I started?
No, actually.
Wow. Yeah. Hopefully, I mean, whoever.
Wait, what were you talking about? Now I want to know. Hold on. So
I was talking about the guy telling me that I was detached.
Yeah.
And then I was talking about battle wounds
that you can't take anymore. And then you were like, the therapist.
And then I was talking about how you can't build a business and not put your all into it.
So you're saying what? Like, the battle wounds would cause you not to be able to put your all into your business? No. We were talking about the whole thing that we were talking about was like, if it gets to a point where we're like competitive and petty and stuff like that. And I'm just saying, like, if that is something that would happen, like today, in my feelings and how I feel right now, like not having a family, not having like other people's lives riding on this right now, I would be like, it would
scar me more to go into this all out drag out fight. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay.
You get what I mean? Like it was.
But I mean, so what are you saying? Like, I don't think it's like choose to fight or no. Like, we have a whole business, so if it's a fight, it's a fight. You can't avoid it. What do you mean?
No, it's. I don't know. I guess I kind of lost my train of thought, so I can't really remember.
Because you said like if it has to be like a fight or whatever, you're not gonna do it, right? You said you're just gonna not fight for it. Fight for what?
Girl, I don't know. Let's go to the next thing because I'm lost myself. I don't remember. Seriously, I don't. Like I would have to play it back to hear it. It'd be like, oh, that's what we were saying. That's what I was saying.
No, I mean you reset everything you were saying.
Right, but I don't remember the point I was trying to make.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. You went into too many
too many
side stories, explanations.
Yeah, probably.
Oh well. Okay.
Probably.
But overall, we were talking about like if there was a therapist in the room, what would we say when it comes to our business and our friendship?
Overall, I mean, I guess we said what the problems. The therapist would probably also want to know what are the good things. Mm-hmm. You know, and you get to go to work with a friend. Like,
yeah,
it's not. It's there's a creative space that is allowed. Mm-hmm. There's a level of I think we've learned how to work with each other through different periods of life, like different times of life. So, you know, it has its challenges, but of all the other friends that I have, I don't know that I could successfully go into business with any of them to this level, to this extent. You know what I'm saying? We probably reached some roadblocks early on.
I would say the same. I mean, I feel like we have the same level of, I know you probably don't see yourself this way, but the level of persistence that we have, like, and perseverance, like, we're just going to fight through it. We're going to make it through this obstacle. We're willing to see past this problem right in front of us. Like, it's not like entrepreneur. There's not a lot of people who's going to be up at 2-3 o'clock in the morning making fans, you know,
and then fighting the next day,
taking a dog that's not even ours.
Oh my gosh,
taking them in.
Do not talk about that dog.
Yo, we over here accepting clients with dogs. Like, that's how bad we wanted a client. That's how bad we wanted to go from zero revenue to some revenue. We accepted the pet. Okay,
they were like, can you take a dog? I was like, yep. But I think that's something that I do too. And I think too, like, you allow, like, you're right, I don't, like, in retrospect I'd be like, okay, I persevere, but in the moment I'd be like, I'm ready to give up. I'm ready to be done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think we're good sounding boards. You're a really good sounding board.
Thank you.
I think you see the good in what we do. And sometimes I'm just like, I just see the technical difficulties sometimes. So it's good to and I think, like, in life, I'm not looking, like, this friendship is going to change, like, when we have families and children and stuff like that. Like, it is not my hope that we get into this big old blowout, because at the end of the day, your children and my children are going to eat off of something we did together. Okay. You get what I'm saying?
Say that. So
there's never going to be a time, like, there's no point in our stories that we can't include the other. You get what I'm saying? No, so it's just like, it don't have to be.
I hope it's not. I really hope it's not. I would really rather, you know what? We should add that into the contract.
What?
We should force ourselves before, if we're breaking, like, business, unless it's like a, you know, on good terms. You're letting me buy out the rest of your whatever, or you're buying out mine, or whatever it is, or we're selling it equally or something. We should say, if it's on bad terms, we have to go to like I bet you a business therapist exists. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Like a business partner therapist.
Yeah.
We have to do that. We should add that into the contract.
Into our contract?
I think so. Like before we.
And if we don't, it's going to be memorialized in this video here.
Yeah, but we probably dig it up like 20 years later. Like, oh my gosh, remember in this episode? Like, we never went to therapy. Yeah. But yeah, we should write that we should include it in the contract.
Yeah. And I think what's interesting too is like what we've built, like even the people around us. I feel like even if you and I tried to be like, nah, bro, I'm good on you. People around us would be like, are you sure? Are you sure that's what you want to do? You guys can't find a way to
come to some
make it work. You know what I mean? I think almost all of our friends have been called in on it. Like, I know my mom has been, our friends have been called in on some disagreement. Sometimes we need a mediator, like,
we definitely,
because there's only two of us.
Yeah, for sure. A mediator is useful because it really does allow you to just see things from a different perspective, and someone to like say it without the emotions behind it. So
yeah, and someone
explain
to hear
it. Yeah. So
yeah. But it's been a good journey, my guy.
I think so too. I mean, we're on a journey, you know, our friendship is changing, our business lives are changing, our lives in general. Yeah. So it's interesting. I'm feeling at the end of the day, I'm feeling it. We're still making money together. Yeah. I will never forget you for that, man. I don't think I've made money with no one else. I don't think so.
Same.
So I will always appreciate that.
Same.
Feeding me and housing me and, you know, clothing me.
Oh, because
our business. Yeah. So it's like, I appreciate that. Yeah. I always will. And like I said, it's not easy to find somebody who's willing to go through all those ups and downs.
And these are our formative years too, you know. But all of the biggest corporations though, like Facebook, Apple, they all start out with 2.
You know what's crazy? Well, Facebook, it was 3.
There's that.
But like, you notice how the men, it's like there's always that one person who's like, nah, I'm going for all of it. Like, I want it all. You know, I just don't feel that I don't want it all because I don't want all the problems. Like,
I just want something
you see
fair.
Mark Zuckerberg, like the way you have to sit in court, it's a no for me. Jeff Bezos sitting in court, it's a no for me. With Congress, me and what I have to like, what? No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, what does Congress want with me? Can you imagine? Yeah. That big old court? No, I'm not doing that. It's a no. I'm not interested in being a CEO. That's the weird thing.
I mean,
I want the royalties.
Still work. CEOs still go to work.
I mean, CEOs. Oh, okay, yeah, that's
you know what I'm saying.
I mean, it's stressful. Like being the representative of the whole company. Like, I think that's stressful. Don't get me wrong. I definitely want to be like a leader, maybe on the board, but I don't think I care to be the face. Yeah. I don't care to be the face because I don't want those problems. Yeah. Because when people think Facebook, they think Mark Zuckerberg, but he's really not he's not the one running the show.
He doesn't run the everyday.
Like, he can't, there's certain things he can't get done without his board and like the background, but he's the one that gets all the flack so no. Yeah.
But he's also the one that gets to, you know, introduce metaverse. You know what I'm saying? So
that was a creepy video.
He looked creepy.
Was he a robot? I mean, was he a cartoon? Person? What was he? He wasn't himself. That wasn't him, was it? Was it a hologram? It looked weird.
Who knows?
So it's about to be Sims. A virtual Sim. We're gonna turn into Sims.
That's crazy.
That's about right.
That's crazy.
That's about right. I wonder if we can get arrested in the metaverse. Probably. There's probably a jail in there.
Maybe.
Yeah, for sexual harassment, for all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of
stuff. I mean, there's Facebook jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can get eliminated off the virtual world. So there's going to be people who literally will be living there. That's, anyway, we're off topic. But yeah. So anything else would you say about business and friendship?
It's not for the weak-hearted.
I know. Yeah, that's true.
It's not for the weak-hearted.
But you know, throughout all of our...
We make it look good. We make it look easy.
You think so? I hope so.
I think so.
I hope so. With all of the... because we've had like arguments and disagreements and stuff like that in the past, and we've managed to run our business through that, but it's never been anything ever that serious.
Yeah, there hasn't been kids involved or nothing like that.
Yeah. So
yeah, what about you? What are your biggest takeaways? I guess we kind of talked about our biggest takeaways, like, but if there's anything else
here's another question I have. Okay, what is something that I do business-wise that you don't like, that you're not telling me because we're friends?
I'm sorry, I had to swallow that. So, okay, I have a question before my answer, which I don't have an answer yet.
Do I have one? No, not off the top of my head. I'll take forever to think of it too.
I was gonna be like, are you asking this because you have one?
No. You're like, are you ready with ammunition over there? Like, no, I'm not. I don't have an answer yet.
Something you do business wise that I don't like. I don't know. I would have to sit and ponder. Because it's not like, oh, I don't like that you do. Like, sometimes I think, I don't know if this answers the question fully, because it's like, it's not that I don't like it. I think it's just you do it at a faster pace than I do. Like, I think maybe you're quicker to like seek out outside help that costs money. You get what I mean? And I just be like, okay, well, not yet. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't. But the times that we do, like, there are times where it works out in our favor. You know what I mean? So in those times, like, this is what I'm saying. It's not something like, oh, that I don't like. I think in the moment, I might be like, we're not there yet. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, but I can't think of something that's like, oh, I don't.
As far as the financial side, that's crazy, because I don't think there's ever been a time where you're like, no, let's not do that right now. We're not in a place. Is it finance wise we're not there, or?
Yeah, I think maybe I don't say it like that. Like, it's just I'm just a little more hesitant a lot of the times. I don't know if you notice. You get what I'm saying?
You're hesitant to spend the money?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Yeah.
But you're hesitant because why? Are you hesitant just because you don't like to spend the money on something you don't feel like we need?
Don't like to spend the money. I think too, sometimes it's just like, I don't always see, like, and maybe this has to do with me, you know, having trouble asking for help.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? But like, the only thing that I can think of.
There goes the R.
Struggle bus. Okay. I can't think, like, okay, for example, when we first started, so back in 2020, when we first met Tyrone, I was hesitant to sit with Tyrone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we ended up taking some time, because that was back when we had the old business. I was hesitant there, but I mean, all in all, that turned positive. Another time I remember being hesitant was that marketing company.
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah, gosh, I was kind of like,
not good.
Yeah, I was kind of like, but you know, the thing is, you do a good job at presenting your case. You know what I mean? You do a good job at saying why we need these things. So I just be like, all right, because I don't want to be the person who holds us back from going further.
Girl, you're not gonna hold me back. I'm just gonna come back with a different solution. That's just what I do.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. I'm just talking about in terms of like my thought process. It's like, okay, maybe right now I'm not like full force, like, yeah, let's do this with this person or with this company or whatever. But at the same time, there's also that question of like, okay, but what if? There's like that what if.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I think that there's always a way because you're the person that's like, you know, in charge of the money and stuff like that. So there is that pressure on you. But you have to understand that like you are like the way that I am the solution person, like looking for solutions, looking to fix, looking to where can we save, where can we. So for me, I don't have experience running a business. So I like to seek out. That's why I like to seek it out, but that's what I'm in charge of. So I'm always going to bring you solutions and you know what I'm saying? But like you being in charge of the finance, you can be like, yeah, but our budget is $500. So
yeah,
can you find us a solution within our budget? Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you tell me that, I'm like, bet I'm going to go look for a solution that costs us $500 versus $1,500. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, I think just stand in your...
I know. I think sometimes I do, but I just look at, like, there are certain things that, like, if it's like a scale, you know, like you're kind of balancing out, like, this side, like, the payout could be this, but the fear here is losing this. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So...
But I don't want it to necessarily be like a fear. Like if we see that there's like a problem, like if we have it and if there's a budget for it, then it's like, it's easy. Like if it doesn't fall under the budget, then then it's not a solution we can use. That's that's it. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing, then we have to get back to but it's interesting because every time you get advice from business people, it's like they be telling you to spend money willy-nilly like it's nothing. Like they be like, oh yeah, go ahead and, you know, get this software, get this, get that, and you're like, but it costs money though.
I know,
but it costs money. We said we struggling. What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean I need to buy this? You know, but we want to save every dollar, but it's like, okay, but as you can see, I mean the value that came from, I don't regret Tyrone. It's gonna last forever. Like that money is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I was just using that as an example, as an answer to your question.
Okay, so
same question. Cringing.
I don't have. I mean, the one thing was like the asking for help. I think you're doing a better job at that. I think. I mean, I don't know.
I'm trying.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I can, you know, I think. Yeah.
If you're not saying like you don't ask for help, then maybe I'm doing a better job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If I'm not saying it, because usually I will bring it up like, dude, why are you drowning? Like, why do you have to drown, bro? Like, like nobody is making you.
Yeah.
I think the whole delegation thing as well was a thing.
Yeah.
But I think you're doing better. Sometimes I have to remind you, like, hey, you know, we pay people for this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm a micromanager. I'm working on it.
But I don't know. It's not like I actually more was asking the question because, like, I feel like there's something that you might not like that I do, but you never say anything.
Like what?
I think that sometimes, like, for some reason, I wonder, do you, when I do have to like come up to you and say like, hey, do it this way instead, or why aren't you doing this? Or like, do I ever come off like aggressive? I don't know what word to use there. That's the word that just came to mind. But I'm like, the reaction that I get from you when I'm like telling you something, it's like, it's just a weird, you know what I mean? Like I just feel like you don't like this, you know what I mean? Like that's just what I feel. But I don't know if it's just me being like just in my head.
No. I think I don't think aggressive. So here's the thing. I think just speak like for me, I'm someone who I don't like when I feel like I'm doing something wrong.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I think sometimes I have to get out of my head and be like, okay, you're not telling me that I'm doing something wrong. You're saying, hey, let's do you get what I mean?
Okay.
But because I was doing it a certain way, and you're saying try to do it this way or do it that way, I'm receiving it as like you're doing something wrong. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't like feeling like that. But I'm not gonna say like, I mean, you are a strong-willed person. I'm not gonna call you aggressive.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's
I probably
a nice thing to say.
I probably am aggressive though, but that's fine.
You know,
I have my moments.
Yeah, I think you're a strong-willed person, but I also think that I'm also a strong-willed person. So it's not that like, because you know me, if I feel some type of way, I'm gonna say it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Okay.
So it's not like, oh, I think it's just also that like that's just it falls under the line of communication. You get what I'm saying? Because for you it might just be like, hey, I'm just direct, I'm just saying it like this, and for me it's just like how I'm interpreting it, how I'm perceiving it. But I've never felt like, I feel like we're equals, and I feel like, you know, I say things to you too, you know, and you take it like you're someone who seeks critique.
Yeah, I do.
And I'm someone who's like, all right.
That's why I'm over here like, so is there any way I could have better like asked you to make the changes? Is there a better way?
Is there a better way?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't, cause I can't think of something off the top of my head. Cause typically you're like, hey, what do you think? Or hey, don't you think? You get what I mean? I think, and I think oftentimes for you, like by the time you say something, you've probably been thinking about it for like 3 weeks.
Nah.
Or it's been, no. I just, you get what I'm saying? So for you, it's like, but for me, sometimes it takes me a little longer to process. You get what I mean? And I can see sometimes like maybe you're seeing it like, okay, she's not catching up or she's not meeting me here, but it's just like I just have a different processing time. You get what I'm saying? So I think maybe in those situations, like just I think it comes down to like understanding each other's like communication styles. Because I mean, like, so things like delegating, asking for help and stuff like that, those actually help me. You get what I'm saying? But because I'm not someone who seeks critique, whenever critique comes and I'm not asking for it, it's kind of like, hold up. You know what I mean? That's just my personality type. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I actually should probably, I think for me, like, I could do a better job at critiquing things. Because I feel like in terms of like delegating and stuff like that, sometimes it's hard to be like, hey, this is wrong, do it this way. Okay. It's like that feeling of like, you know, I'm just gonna do it myself. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I do need to be better at like, you should do it this way. So
you have a hard time critiquing others too. So you don't, it's like you have a hard time taking it and giving it as well. Okay. Because
I think I didn't grow up feeling like constructive criticism wasn't a thing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see it in that way. I just like, critique is critique. Yeah. Criticism is negative.
You know, you didn't play sports. And the thing is like in sports, that was like a big, I mean, if you're not getting critiqued, you're never going to get better. You're just going to keep making the same mistakes. And you notice with tennis, right? We get every swing, he's giving us a critique. Yeah. He tells you what you did wrong, like fix this, fix that. But he also will tell us when we do good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's what helps us improve.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think another thing, like with tenants, is like, I want to get better. So I want that critique. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Versus like, you know, sometimes you're in a relationship and they're like, you know, you actually da 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 da. And I'm like,
you know what? Did I say right? I don't know that I take critique well in a relationship. I don't know that I do that well.
Yeah.
Like no. But business wise, I want to get better. Leadership wise, I want to get better. You know what I mean? So like if my business partner cringes at me critiquing something or suggesting something, how am I ever going to talk to my staff, employees, or other partners? You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah.
But there's nothing that you do that I hate. Like,
okay, I was in my head about it because I was just like, every time after I'm done, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I hope I didn't say anything, or like, you know, like I hope I didn't like upset you or anything like that. Which you don't say it, you never say it. I'm just in my head.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think it would have shown if we had those kind of major issues, it would have shown by now.
Okay.
I feel like, you get what I'm saying? I feel like there's areas that, cause we'll have meetings where, you know, we'll be like, hey, could you do this or could you do that, or, and that's part of like learning, cause that's interesting how you don't, like you're saying, like you seek critique business wise. I keep looking at the time because I don't want this thing, but business wise you seek critique and stuff like that, but not in a relationship. But I kind of see it as all the same.
I don't know that I don't seek critique. I don't think that I can take the critique as well. Like it just hurts a little bit more, you know, like business. It's like, okay, I mean, it's an art, you have to get better, this and that. But like, I don't know that I would take it well that I'm not being a good girlfriend. Like, not, I guess they probably wouldn't be critiquing me that way, but like that's how I would translate it. Like, just I'm a terrible girlfriend.
No, yeah.
Like,
I see it as the same, because at the end of the day, this is still a relationship. It's just not a romantic one. You get what I'm saying? But like if I don't ask for help in my business, then that means I don't ask for help in my romantic relationship.
Wow. Yeah.
Because I'm pretty much the same person. Like I don't. I'm pretty much the same person. So. And I think that's why I struggle in like, you know, 9-to-5 world, because I can't just turn off this part of me and walk into the building and be a different person. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I take everything that I am everywhere I go.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you think about when they tell you, when they say like, especially like when you're in a relationship, you're married, you might not want to take that I'm a boss, because once you start to use that delegation, you're never gonna stop. I know you're never gonna stop because it's the best in the world. Okay, like when things are getting done without you having to do every piece of it, it's just so marvelous. It's beautiful. Yeah. But so once you start getting used to that, it's like, how do you not take that energy home with you? Because I heard men are not a fan. Actually, they are not a fan of that. Like almost everyone, most of the guys I've dated, they always give me this kind of pet name. They'll be like, okay, boss. Da-da-da. I hate that. It makes me cringe. Literally, that happens to me. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. Like my ex used to be like, boss, and boss lady this, boss, and like, oh my god, like. Dang, and then my dad called me bossy. I'm like, oh, I hate it. I absolutely do. But what is it about? Because I get called that too. And I'm just like, what is it? I don't understand. I guess I am calling out orders, but that's weird because they do the same thing. They're not bossy. Maybe we expect it from them because they're I don't know, man. I don't think that I call out orders. I just tell you what I would like to see. Like, okay, for example, so guy I'm dating says, I tell him, hey, watch the show. You should watch the show. Mind you, he has suggested multiple shows to me. Multiple that I watched. Okay. And we discussed. So now I'm, for the first time, asking you to watch my show. First thing out his mouth is no. Okay. So then I'm like, no, like you need to watch the show. I don't understand. Like, you know, I watch all the shows that you suggest. Okay, boss. I'm like, yeah. What? How is that? Is that bossy?
I don't think it's bossy, but I'm someone who has the same problems. So I don't know if I don't think it's bossy. But I think like, that's what I'm saying. Like from the earlier episode when I was talking about like, I'd rather not tell you I'm an entrepreneur or whatever. Like, cause then you're creating this image of me that I don't subscribe to.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Cause once you tell them you're an entrepreneur, you run your own business, then it's like, okay, boss lady, like, then you're boss lady. I'm like, no, my name is Juny.
It's just, I'd rather not have to work for someone else. Like, what's the big deal? Like, I want to make my own money. That's it. Like, why does that have to be me being a bossy, whatever?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, that's not the job. I just don't prefer that same kind of job.
Yeah.
But this is a whole job.
Yeah. I don't call myself boss lady.
We don't even have, like, we literally don't even have a CEO for our company.
No.
So who's the boss?
I was gonna say God is the boss, but we're the bosses.
You know what? We should make God the CEO of our company.
He is. Let's do that.
Let's do that. Let's put God as our CEO.
Yeah.
That's what it's gonna be. Okay. They're probably gonna be like, girl, CEOs actually do stuff.
God does stuff.
God is gonna be the face of our company. Period.
Yeah. I mean, I don't refer to I don't have anything in my possession that says boss lady, boss bee, boss girl. I don't call myself that.
I mean, do you see it as a negative? You are a boss though.
Yeah, I'm a boss by way of working. But I don't take it. Some people take it on as
boss.
I'm somebody's boss, but some people take it on as their persona.
That would be a cute shirt, somebody's boss.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like some people make it their persona, so they carry it from relationship to like. Nah, cameras. Yep.
Battery. It's out. It's okay. Let's go keep going. We can keep going. Do you?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we just won't have
we won't have footage. That's fine. But the podcasters, we got y'all.
Yeah. So
you don't carry that persona.
I don't carry that persona. So I don't like when, I just don't like it. I just don't like it. And it's like, okay, if you're leading into it, if you're coming into it thinking like, oh, she's a boss, and you're thinking that I'm bossy, or you're thinking, you know what I'm saying? Like, because we're perceiving things through our own lens. Mm-hmm. So I may be saying something to you, but because you have this perception of me being this boss lady, then I may say something, but you perceive that I said something different than what I actually said. You know what I'm saying? So then you're going to respond to the way that you perceive that I said or did something. Mm-hmm. When that's not the case. Mm-hmm, does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So that's what I'm saying. Like that doesn't define me. Like, yeah, people work for me, but I could be a manager for someone else's job and people would still work for me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Would you call me boss lady then? Maybe they would. I don't know. But the times that I used to work and I used to say, because I've been a manager and nobody called me boss lady then.
Yeah. I don't know. So they're not calling you boss lady just because of what you do. I mean, they're calling you. So they're not calling you boss lady because you're bossy.
I don't think I'm bossy. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, do you think I'm bossy?
No. I mean, you don't know how to delegate.
Okay. So yeah, you know.
So I mean, that's the first thing bosses do. Bossy people do.
Yeah.
So I don't think so. People will probably think I'm bossy before they think you are.
Yeah, I'm super chill. Like, even as someone who employs people, like, I don't think the people who work for me would feel like
that you're bossy.
No.
Yeah. I have my moments. It just depends. Like, I already told you. So we had this conversation too about like how I'm in charge of the process and creating the process. So when I see people not doing it, that's when my bossiness comes out, because I'm just like, yo, my whole job is this. Mm-hmm. And it takes a lot of time and energy and effort to create it. So
I need
that's
you to do
when
it.
When my bossiness comes out, because it's like, so I'm wasting all of my time when this can definitely be like improving our business, saving our business money, making our business money, so it's like giving our business like a consistent, because there's no way, you're the numbers person. So there's no way to keep track or calculate what's working, what's not working if we're doing something different every time. Yeah. So for me, that's like I'm gonna get annoyed. I'm gonna get bossy about stuff like that. You know, and that's when I feel like that's when I usually, if I do, because I pay attention to myself too. I'm like, okay, when do I like kind of lose it? And it's around those times. But it, for some reason, I feel like I'm valid in being. No, I feel valid. I don't, you know, because it's just like, come on, guys. It's right there.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Yeah, it definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
I think like maybe what we can do like going forward. Well, I mean, which you've done too, like, you know, in the past, like when we had processes for Sapphire and stuff, you did trainings and stuff on the processes and things. So yeah, I think we can do a better job, you know. I feel like oftentimes like the processes that you create, it's like oftentimes I'm not the one, like I don't, like all of them don't always
apply to
me. So it's not at the forefront of my brain. You get what I'm saying? Like, okay, there's this process. So I can do a better job at that as well. And just, I feel like we can do a better job at coming off as united fronts for these processes. You get what I'm saying? And maybe like finding a way to marry like your process feeding into the things that I do, so that, yeah, like we need this process to be followed.
You probably need a process in the things that you do too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because everything that you do down to payrolls, there should be a process, and it should be, simple.
Yeah, there is a process. I don't know if it's because it's been me doing it, like kind of like, for so long, I'm never thinking about like, okay, if somebody came
and had to do it,
and
that's the thing. It's like,
so yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's like I actually would need that from you too. You know what I mean? Like for you to like create a process for what it is that you do, because I can only create it for the stuff I see. But it should be easy. It should be simple. Even within seeing your process, if I see something is complicated, I'm gonna be like, how can we simplify this and make it shorter, and you know, people not have to spend as much time. You know, things like that. You know, it's. I didn't even realize that that's the position that I was playing this entire time.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it. But I mean, it's cool. It's interesting. Like the operations.
Yeah.
It makes sense that that's the role I'm playing. Yeah. It makes me I told you so, cuz remember when we were talking about how the whole solutions manager, I didn't know that was a job. I didn't know that was a position.
It is?
Yeah, it's a whole position for some places. So yeah. Anyway. All right. Well, do you have a quote by any chance?
I do. I wonder if this will be a 2-parter.
Possibly. Or I mean, it could just be one episode. I don't see the big deal in having a longer episode. Yeah,
I have a quote.
Okay, let me see if I have one second. I had my documents opened up. There it is. Got it. All right. Do I have one? Actually, no, I don't have one. So
get it.
Go ahead and leave our people.
Okay, sorry.
With your quote of the day.
Okay, my quote of the day. That was a good conversation.
It was.
Yeah. My quote of the day is by Alfred A. Monteper, whatever. And the quote says, "All lasting business is built on friendship."
Oh.
Yeah. So I thought that was fitting.
Repeat that one more time.
All lasting business is built on friendship.
Wow.
Yeah. So I felt like that was pretty cool. And I think I can relate to that. I can identify with that. So yeah.
So let's stay friends.
Yes. So great episode. Thank you guys for listening. We know this was a long one. We hope that you can relate. You know, you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And you can like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Ashes and Roses Real. See you next time.
See you guys next Wednesday.